Hello, welcome to the Backyard Machine Shop. Well, today we're shooting the fifth video and the angles and squares video. And in this video, we're going to cover grinding the hypotenuse of the triangle, which will be the 30-degree angle or the 60-degree angle on these, and the 45-degree angle on the 45-90 squares. To do that, we need a few tools. First of all, we need a nice flat surface to set everything up on. This is a granite surface plate. I think it's 12 by 9, maybe. Also here I have a, don't know if you can see it, but I have a cast iron surface plate that's maybe 16 by 10, I'm not sure. Anyway, along with the surface plate, the next thing we'll need is a sine bar or a sine plate. In this case, we're going to use the sine plate, but I wanted to show the sine bar. It can be used also. And what the sine bar does, it allows you to set up, and you'll see it in the Gage Blocks in a minute, it'll let you set up the angle, hold your part at a certain angle, and grind it. These are 5 inches from center to center of the bars, and so all the sines are calculated in the 5 inches. The sine plate, same thing. It's got a bar right here, and then one at the bottom. The difference is it's more useful to screw your parts down, gives you a little more surface to work with, and it tilts and lets you lock it in place. It just moves up and down and works that way. Okay, let's take these off. Next thing we're going to need is we're going to need a set of Gage blocks. Now, this is an old set, probably 30 or 40 years old, and it's just a shop grade set. It has the wear blocks in it and a few other things. Actually, I'm missing the wear blocks, so can't use them. But we'll show you how these are used, and these are used and stacked up to create the angle along with the sine bars. Let's see, the next thing we're going to use is our machinery's handbook. Now, there's a formula to calculate, and I can go look it up, but machinery's handbook has sine tables in them. And we can go right to it, determine what we need, and then get our stack up blocks. We have a couple of clamps here to clamp the part down, and 1, 2, 3 block and an angle block in case we need them. So, first thing we need to do is, I guess we need to look in the machinery's handbook. And if I ain't mistaken, it was like $6.75, but I'm probably wrong. And we'll have to go dig through the index. Yep, there you go, sine bar constants. Okay, so this is what the table looks like, and what we're looking for is, it says constants for setting a 5-inch sine bar from 24 degrees to 31 degrees. So we want 30 degrees, and we look in here, and we look in the book here, and I hope you can see that. Let's see, right here, it's 2.5 inches. So we take our 2.5, and this one's real easy. It's not, a lot of the angles you have, you'll have to use several blocks. And in this case, we're probably going to use, we only going to have to use 2 blocks. So we, it's a little rag here. We want to pull out our 2-inch block and just kind of wipe it off. You want these to be as clean as possible. Well, actually, this is my 2-inch block I want to use. And we need the 1/2-inch block. Okay. Now the way these things are set up, you have a 50 thousandths, 100 thousandths, and then everything else is 100 plus 1 thousandths and so on. So we'll get to that later when we set up the 45 degrees. Okay, so kind of wipe our blocks off, get them nice and dry. Now, these things are supposed to ring together, and I've always been taught to use a little elbow grease there, or wrist grease. And there you go. Okay, so we've got our stack up. And then what we're going to do is take our sine plate here, clean everything off really good. All right, and we need to use our stack up, kind of make this gentle as possible. Okay. We have our stack up, and then we're going to take, and on our vise here we have a lockdown piece here, and we're going to take and lock our angle plate, lock both top and bottom. Okay, so the next thing we're doing, we're working on our 30-degree. Hey guys, we got our block set up. We have our stack up, we have our angle set, and we have it locked down. The next thing we want to do is you get our part. Now, on this part, we need to make up some room to allow us to get a good place to grind here. So, first thing you want to do is make sure everything is clean. Make sure the part has no burrs. I've already went over it. And I'll go over it again real quick. Okay, we want to make sure our part has no burrs and is clean. Wipe it off. And what I'm going to use here, let's set this down. Wipe this off. I'm going to use this 1, 2, 3 block to space it. So we got our rear fence up. The next thing we're going to do, let me turn this where we can see it in the camera here, is not knock those out, is unlock our fence. Let's bring it up. Okay, because we want the part to run parallel. So now we have our block. And we're going to take a parallel. We're going to stick it right there. Okay, so this is going to give us our 90 degree. And then we're going to lay our block in. Ooh, I do that. We'll lay our block in that way. Okay? So then we'll take one of our hold downs and we'll start it out here. All right, let's tighten that up. So we take our hold downs and tighten those up. Now these blocks have already been rough ground, so this is our finished grind. So we'll pull the parallel out and need to let our fence back down. And we'll lock that one in there. Okay. So now we're set up to grind. We'll take this over to the surface grinder and grind this to a nice smooth finish. Okay guys, got you over at the Taft Pierce surface grinder. Now we've already come in here and we've touched off the wheel to the part. We have the part set up. We stoned the chuck, stoned the bottom of the surface plate, and got a parallel back here spacing it off the fence where to keep it kind of centered in the part. Like I said, I've touched off using a piece of paper. Chuck's on, phase converter's running if you can't hear it. And what we're going to do is we're going to start grinding at it. Now, these have already been ground close. I did a lot of grinding off camera. And all we're doing here is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take some Sharpie. And I'm going to kind of mark it up a little bit. And that way I can see that I'm grinding even, because it's just going to be a light grind, maybe a thou or two. So stay tuned. Don't know how much of it I'll include in the video, but we'll do something. So start up the phase converter, the grinder. Okay, guys, we've got our final grind on our 30-degree angle. If you want to look, I don't know how good you can see that, and like I touched it with my finger. Here's the other one. Get a nice finish on it. So now we need to let's see if we get it in better shape here. We need to grind our 45s. Okay, guys, what we're about to do now is we're going to set up and grind our 45-degree blocks. So we're going to use the same techniques as we use for the 30. And what we need to do here is find our number. And our constant for setting a 5-inch sine bar for 45 degrees, 0 minutes, is 3 inches, 535 thousandths, and 5 tenths. And actually the book goes to the next place, but we're only going to use 3 inches, 535 and a half. So what we do now is whenever we get our blocks, this one's a little more difficult than the 30 degree because we're dealing with tenths here. So what you do is you start to the far right. In this case it'd be 5 tenths. And the way the blocks are set up in the gauge, in the box, or the gauge blocks are ground, they're ground. The first series is going to be 100 thousandths and so many tenths. So what we need to do is we need to find the 100 thousandths and 5 tenths. And there we go. Alright, so we've got this one eliminated. If you subtract it, that's going to give you 3 inches, 435.0. So now the next block we want to use, and the way to divide it up, the next series will be 100 thousandths and up to tenths. Let's see exactly how that's not tenths, but it's every alright, so it's every thousandths. How would you say that? Basically it's kind of hard to tell here. It's from 101 thousandths through 150 thousandths. Okay, so what we need here is we need 135 thousandths and make sure we have the right blocks. Make sure we haven't put them in the wrong spot at some point. Yep, 135. So we take 135 away from this number. That gives us 3 inches, 300 thousandths. So the next block we'll use will be our 300 thousandths block, which here it is. So we'll subtract 300 thousandths, and the next block will be our 3-inch block. All right. So this completes our stack up of for 45 degrees. So the next thing we do is we get our sine plate and we set that up. Okay. See if we can ring them. These old blocks ring sometimes and sometimes they don't. I'm not sure if these will or not. Seems like it did. Okay. Yep. There we go. And there's our stack up for 45 degrees. So we take our sine plate and turn everything off. And if you remember the last time, we had our 1, 2, 3 block here and set our fence. Now I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Alright, I guess the first thing we need to do is loosen up this bad boy. And pick it up. Alright. So, nice clean surface. Set our sine plate, our sine bars down, our gauge blocks. This is what always worries me. I'm scared I'm going to slam them. Now, okay. So here we are at 45 degrees, 0 minutes. Alright, now we take one of our 45 degree blocks here, and like I said, I've ground these to a point. We need to deburr this one. We need to get our parallel. Where did I put the parallel? There's our parallel. Slide our parallel in here up against the fence. Slide the part up against the parallel. And tighten our hold down. Okay. Slide our parallel out. And now we need to let our fence down. Okay, and mount our hold down on this side. Slide our block out. And I don't like to grind with my gauge blocks in, so I'm going to slide those out. And we're going to have to do something a little different here. Let's see what I did wrong here. Two things. Number one is, I'm not sure I got the right angle. Because it doesn't, I might have hit the bottom back there. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. Number two is I don't have this block up high enough to grind. So what we got to do here, we're going to take this back off, lay this down since we deburred it. All right. So now we need to get up into this point with our block. Let's see. All right, got a parallel there, parallel there. Put us in a parallel here. Part. And tighten that down. All right, pull our parallel out again. Other pull down. All right, pull our parallel out, our block out, get them out of the way. And there we have it. And like I said, I don't like to grind with my blocks in place. This thing will hold it in place. And we're going to go over to the surface grinder, and we're going to grind this 45-degree hypotenuse. Okay guys, I think that's about to do it for this part anyway. I was hoping to get a lot more done, but this is time consuming. You can see we've got the hypotenuses have been ground. Very nice finish on them. Anyhow, next step will be to grind the flats on both sides, get them done, and then we'll be finished. I also have to figure out a way of checking them. I'm probably going to take them to work and get them to check them on the CMM at work. I'm going to do a little check here, but I think it'll be more accurate there. So I think that'll be all for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please hit the like button. And until next time from the Backyard Machine Shop, so long.